Mike and Tom are registered with Steward Partners Global Advisors. Common Sense Finance with Mike Wiginton and Tom Farrell of HL Wiginton Capital Management, an independent investment and financial planning firm in downtown Jasper. Mike is a chartered financial analyst charter holder, and Tom is a certified financial planner professional. They are here to discuss and give their thoughts on current financial and economic matters. Now, with Common Sense Finance, here are Mike and Tom.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Common Sense Finance. This is Thomas Farrell. Say hi, Tom.
Hey.
I'm Mike Wiginton. And if we're going to put a title on today's podcast, and
we have.
And you did, so I'll just read it. It's Long-Term Care, Death, and Lightning. I have no idea what that means.
I'll explain
I'm
that.
sure you're going to.
Yeah. So, one thing we do a lot in our practices is try to set some money aside for long-term, especially when we're doing long-term retirement planning, estate planning, things like that. Set some money aside for long-term care because based on statistics, and I've got some stuff I'll run through here real quick, at least half of the people that we deal with, based on statistics, will need some type of paid long-term care. Now, a lot of people get their spouse takes care of them, or children, whatever. We're not talking about that. But so the title's long-term care, death, and lightning. So obviously we're all going to die eventually, sadly, but that is true. And about half of us will need some kind of long-term care, professional long-term care. But most people, less than 10% of people that are over 65 have some type of long-term care insurance policy that would kick in whenever they need that. So the majority of people are self-insured. So just like, getting struck by lightning, that's a very low probability that you're going to get struck by lightning, but we're all going to die, and a good chunk of us are going to need long-term care. So you need to start doing something about it sooner rather than later. So one of the things that I, after doing a little bit of research here, I found is, and you can go out and look at this too. It's Genworth Cost of Care Survey. So it'll tell you on average what it would cost you to have home health care come take care of you every month, which in the state of Alabama is a little over $4,000 a month. It'll tell you if you want a private room at a nursing home facility, it's going to be a little over $8,000 per month. And you can search by city, you can search by different states if you want to, if you decided you wanted to move to Florida and have be in an assisted living type facility, that's going to be about $9,000 a month down there. But anyway, you can play around with that if you want to. It's Genworth Cost of Care Survey. So it's something that I think everybody needs to look into a little bit. So the average stay, and we may have talked about this before, for men is in a nursing care type facility is a little over 2 years. And women,
is that in Alabama?
That's nationwide.
Okay.
That's nationwide.
Right.
That's based on the HHS survey that they did, I think, in 2022. But anyway, and then women is a little over 3 years. So they typically are going to, obviously, listening to that, women would probably need to plan for having a little bit more set aside for long-term care than men would. So one of the things that in this article I read that kind of got some of these statistics from, and it's probably not a bad practice, but we do this with our financial planning, retirement planning software when we're running a plan for somebody. We build that in. But they're saying, hey, if you don't have long-term care insurance, run the numbers in your area. If you have a sizable enough portfolio where you can self-insure, carve enough off to cover 2 years if you're a male, a little over 3 years if you're a female, based on what the rates are around you, and kind of set that aside and don't assume you don't have that. Just set it aside so you're self-insured, and then whatever you have left, you live off of that. So that's kind of what they're saying. But regardless if you do that or some kind of version of that, you just need to be aware that that's something that you need to be looking out for, because again, and long-term care is so expensive. We've talked about this before. You can't, really by the time you get, over 50, 55 years old, it's almost, cost prohibitive to do something, depending on your situation. And then once you get to the age where you may need it, your premiums are going to be astronomical. So anyway.
Well, it's it is my experience, it's just like everything else with insurance. It's a field that the public doesn't understand. Even after they make decisions about buying a policy, and I would say this about all insurance, in my experience, but I know we're talking about specifically long-term care. They don't understand what they have. It is a decision of pick your poison, okay?
Yep.
And I would suggest, this is based on my experience over a long number of years, that you explore, that you should know exactly how that policy works. How much money is it going to afford you? How much money do you think you'll have wrapped up into that policy if you took before you ever start to use it, if you do in fact use it? If you took that same money and invested it and kept it out yourself, which is the self-insuring bucket, to make sure you fully explore that. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm saying you better make sure you fully explore that. And long-term care is a tough one, and that's a field that I've experienced lots of with people dealing with a lot of heartache about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, we'd leave it there, and if there's any questions, Oliver Stone is always running our emails and phone numbers across. I challenge you to call us. I would, really not even suggest you call us on that and get some input before you sign anything. So,
I agree.
leave it there.
That's it for me.
All right, we'll see you next time.